Confined space entry is heavily regulated and the workplace requirements are extensive. First, whenever workers are required to enter a confined space, the employer must have written codes of practice for safely carrying out the work procedure. This program must list all confined spaces in the workplace, it must assign responsibilities accordingly, and workers are required to comply with the procedures. Prior to a worker entering a confined space, the employer must perform a hazard assessment. This includes inspecting the facility, verifying that precautions are in place, and that the atmosphere in the confined space has been tested. If the hazard assessment identifies that a potential atmospheric hazard exists, then the confined space must be ventilated, purged, or inerted before a worker enters the confined space. The ventilation system must have an alarm system to alert workers in the event of a failure in the equipment. If ventilating, purging, or inerting a confined space is impractical or ineffective, then all workers entering the confined space must use appropriate personal protective equipment for the conditions. Common PPE for confined space include lifelines and respiratory equipment. Attending worker or standby person must be designated to oversee the work inside the confined space. A rescue plan must be in place. And emergency equipment such as harnesses, lifting equipment, and stretchers must be available to workers who may need to perform rescue operations. I will go over these requirements in more detail later in the lesson. Last but not least, a person must not enter a confined space without a valid entry permit. I will go over the requirements for the Safe Work Permit on the next slide.